Hey everyone, and thank you for joining in to this week's DezTV. Today I'm so inspired and honored to have Jen Alvarez here today, and she's the founder of Dream U University. And what she does is she teaches people how to subconsciously train their brain while we're asleep. And so she's also taught me a lot about human design, and I really wanted to share her talents with you today because she's super powerful in the things that she does. She also has a program that we're going to talk about. So thank you so much, Jen, for being here today. And I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Can you just give us a little background about Dream U University and how you came up with the idea?
Yeah, so the teachings have actually been passed down from my Chichimeca and Toltec ancestors for thousands of years, and they were ordered to be hidden for the past 500 years. So it wasn't until recently that we were able to actually share them with the public. And my ancestors believe our dreams create our reality, and that we can dream dream consciously about what it is that we want to create in our waking state.
Okay.
And it's also a way to reprogram our subconscious while we are sleeping. And I started Dream U University because it's always been a huge dream of mine, even as a kid, to help people to create these lives that they loved and to go after their dreams. And it's just a very interesting thing to be in this place that I'm at today, where I can recall talking to God about my dreams, having these conversations, walking to school, having that desire, and then literally helping people create their dream lives through their dreams.
And we had a long conversation a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about that, the power of dreams, the power of manifesting things that you really want in life. In your Dream U University, how do you teach? And I know it's a process, but how do you teach people to train their brain to, manifest and dream? And what are some tips? Because I think a lot of times when we talk about manifestation, a lot of people are like, well, I mean, you can dream, but if you see it, you can believe it. Mm-hmm. So what would you say are some really good tips to, manifesting and really dreaming the things that you want?
Mm-hmm. So what I teach in my course is actually the very specific practices that we use. And the practices fall under a body of knowledge known as Nahualism. Nahualism means the art of I. It's the true I, the spirit, the unlimited one. So it's this process of reminding people about the truth of who we are. And it's also releasing them from what we call the invisible prison of the moon, because we believe our dreams create our reality, and we're sleeping typically at night when the energy of the moon is out. Yeah. We are also freeing ourselves from our limiting beliefs, from our ancestral issues, from our traumas, from our addictions, from our bad habits. So there's this process of releasing and shedding. Many times people focus on manifesting and they think about all the things that they want to call into their space, but they don't think about what it is that they have to let go of to actually make room to receive those things. And so, I like to use the analogy of a relationship, right? Oftentimes people want to call these relationships into their lives, but they have things in their home that are still, the energy with them and their ex. They have these old letters, they have all these things that remind them. And then also within them, they have all of these, memories, or they have different fears about relationships. Like they really haven't done the inner work to energetically allow somebody to come into their space. They're guarded. And so they're not actually receiving what it is that they desire. And it's also like a cup, right? So if we want to put water in a cup, we have to empty the cup out. We need an empty cup. So for ourselves, we have to constantly be emptying ourselves. And we look at the natural phases and cycles of the universe. Right now, we're under the energy of a new moon. This is one of the perfect times to be planting what it is that you desire. But a simple thing that you can do to work on releasing what it is that is in your life that you don't want is like, think about what it is you want to call into your space, and then ask yourself, what do I need to let go of in order to receive this? So are there ancestral issues? Are there limiting beliefs? Is there fear? Is there worry? Is there doubt? What is it? Write all those things down. And because it's a way to physically get those thoughts and feelings from inside of you to outside of you.
Yeah.
right? And so by the process of writing the things out, you're physically able to release it, and then you can just burn it and let it go and
Right.
ask, you know, God, the creator, whatever you believe in, to take that energy and to transform it into something beautiful. And then
Yeah.
think about all the things that you want to call into your space. And as you're drifting off to sleep, you could think about what it is that you want to call into your space. And again, think about what it is that you want to release, because the most recent brain science shows us that one of the best times to reprogram your subconscious is right before you go to sleep. It's called the hypnagogic state. And literally, it's while your head is on the pillow,
Yeah.
right? While you're about to drift off. And what you can do is you can begin to visualize what it is that you desire. Or you can even say a prayer to whatever you believe in, right? To
Yeah.
say, as I'm sleeping and as I'm dreaming, free me from my fears, free me from my worries, free me from the past that has me trapped,
Yeah.
free me from my conscious and unconscious beliefs about what is possible for me that is limiting me, free me from my trauma. And then you can say, and while I'm sleeping, take me to the place where, you know, I have perfect health, where I have amazing relationships, where I have my business that is thriving, or my career that is thriving, whatever it is that you desire, and continue to repeat those things as you're drifting off to sleep. And your subconscious is like this thing that has to obey your command. But most people don't know when to tap into it, and
Yeah.
they don't know that it's something that they can train like a muscle.
Wow. You know, when we were talking about this the last time, I was so blown away by it because it's so true. We dream about the thing, the last thought that we have, we start to dream about it. Then we wake up and, you know, whether it's eating a donut and I had a dream, I felt like I was really eating it. But you can transform those thoughts into your dreams and manifesting all the things that you want to do in life. I loved how you said you have to clear your cup. You have to empty it out so you can receive. And we always talk about blocking our blessings and, you know, it's the same thing. So it's like we really do have to train ourselves or train our mindset before we go to bed, so when we wake up we're brand new every day. How did you come about Dream You University? Because you're so passionate about it, you're so knowledgeable. What was it that you were like, you know what, I'm going to do this? This was a sign that I need to do it. Was it, did someone tell you, or was it something that you've always wanted to do?
For me, it's always been a passion to help people live their dream lives. That was definitely something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And my mom would always give me stuff about dreams, you know, like quotes, mugs, shirts, all kinds of stuff, always about dreams. And if we look at history, and
Yeah.
even many cultures and religions, they talk about the significance of dreams. And thousands of years ago, leaders had dream interpreters. They had people that they would go to work with their dreams,
Yeah.
and dream workers. And in our tradition, the dream interpreters, the dream guides, were considered one of the highest people, you know, in terms of what you would consider maybe a priest or something like that, right? It was a very noble position, and it was a position of leadership to be in, to have the dreaming knowledge and to have the ability to interpret what they meant and to be able to guide people to create what it was that they desired. So I had already started on this path. You know, my mom gave me one of the greatest blessings, and she supported my curiosity always. So I grew up being able to study different religions, different cultures, different traditions. But I also grew up being exposed to, you know, the traditions of my ancestors.
Yeah.
And I would read these books about personal development, and I would read these books about metaphysics. You know, even like as a kid, before I was even a teenager, I would be reading these types of things because they just fascinated me so much.
Yeah.
And the energy of the creator and God and whatever it was that created this thing has always fascinated me.
Yeah.
And growing up in an environment where I was surrounded by poverty and violence and all of these sorts of things, And being raised by a single mom, I always had the desire to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always dreaming about a better life. And so Dream You really came about because it's really been this evolution of me dreaming myself consciously and me focused on what it was that I desired. And then I actually was introduced to my teacher years ago that reminded me about the teachings of our ancestors. And I was given permission and the blessing to share the teachings publicly. And Dream You, the name, you know, it's dream and then it's YOU. And there's no separation between the M and the Y. And the Y and the O and the U are capital when I spell Dream You. The reason for that is because there's no separation between the dream and you. There's no separation between you and the dream. Because we believe our dreams create our reality. And so whether you want to think about that in the sense of, okay, whatever I'm daydreaming about, right, I'm creating, like there's that quote, dream it, believe it, achieve it. Mm-hmm. If you look at many quotes, you will see the significance. You will see that everyday language we talk about, dream man, dream job, dream life, it's been hidden, right, in plain sight, that dreams are very important. Right. And so when I thought about the name for Dream You, it also is because you have to do the work. So I can teach you the practices, I can give you the knowledge, but if you don't apply it, nothing is going to change.
That's so true, because they're your dreams. You have to manifest them yourself. I remember when we had talked, you said that you were obviously American Indian, but what tribe are you from?
So I'm from the Chichimeca tribe. My ancestors are Chichimeca.
Okay, and I love it.
Like it's you know, it's the Chichimeca, Toltecs, Aztecs, Mayans.
And this is ancient practices from hundreds of years? Thousands of years.
It's been passed down for thousands of years, uninterrupted through our oral tradition.
Right. And today, it's still manifestation, believe, attract. All these things are still relevant today. So obviously there's something behind, I have a dream board and I have all these things that I really, want to achieve. And I thought, they don't just have to be a dream. I can really do it. Mm-hmm. So if someone's watching this, they want to be a part of Dream You, what would they expect, or what are the topics that you teach in Dream You University?
We start out by teaching people how to ground their energy, how to release the things that are in their space that are no longer serving them, how to protect their energy, right? How to neutralize energy. So in other words, a lot of times people are going through different things in their life. Maybe they're going through a nasty breakup, right? And they're co-parenting and that's not going so well. Or maybe there's somebody at their work that is really envious or is always trying to sabotage them, right? And so we have to have these practices that on a daily basis, we can ground our energy, because people take a bath, right, every day. They brush their teeth every day. Right. But most people don't have spiritual hygiene practices. And it's so important for us to have spiritual hygiene practices, because even if, let's say we go to a healer, right, and we get a healing or something like that. Let's say, somebody religious and they get baptized and they're feeling brand new, but then life hits. And then all these things start to happen, they accumulate all this heavy energy. So it's a process of releasing, protecting, sending people's energy back, neutralizing heavy energy, like if you're angry or you're stuck in traffic or just something's happening, right? Tools that you can use throughout your day. And then we talk about how to protect yourself while you are dreaming, because every time we enter into the dream state, we enter into what's called our astral space. And many people talk about protecting their energy in their waking, but they don't think that they have to protect themselves in the astral. And there's a common misbelief that lucid dreaming and super lucid dreaming isn't dangerous, but it can be if you don't know what you're doing, if you haven't been trained properly. And
Right.
so if you've ever woken up from a dream and been very upset,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So those dreams, they're creating something like in your body, in your spirit, and you can be attacked in the dream world, whether you're practicing or not, right? People wake up and they get upset, or they have different dreams about somebody, attacking them in the dream, or people sometimes think that, they're having a nightmare when they're not. So as an example, there was a woman who she thought she was having this recurring nightmare where she was being chased. And when we basically said, okay, turn around and face what it is that has been chasing you and ask, what are you? And when she did that, it said love.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the whole time she was running away from love.
Wow.
Even though it was something that she desired in her life, sometimes there's a subconscious part of us that is afraid of love because we feel like, what if I get hurt? We feel like, what if I'm betrayed? It's scary to be vulnerable and to let somebody in oftentimes. And so people will run from the very thing that they desire. If they want to be successful, there might be a fear of success, right? There might be a fear of failure. There's so many different things. And so we talk about protecting ourselves energetically. And then there's a practice that we do in our waking state, which is called semming, where we're building up our energetic body, and where it's called like drinking the sacred nectar of life, which is the energy of the sun. Okay. And it helps us, it's like a guided meditation visualization, but it's an ancient secret practice, and it's associated with the mathematics of the universe, because the Toltecs and the Chichimeca, they were considered masters of the cosmos, of the universe, and the sacred mathematics. And so we do it at a certain type of day, and each time we do it, it's associated with something different. As an example, in the morning, it helps us tune into the energy of doing what people would consider impossible. In the afternoon, it's about tuning into the energy of our greatest destiny, our greatest possibility. At sunset, it's about releasing the things that we need to shed and let go of to make room for that. And at nighttime, it is about changing the ancestral pattern of dreaming that we have inherited that is causing issues in our life, because we don't believe that heart disease, diabetes, trauma, abuse runs in families. We believe there is an ancestral pattern of dreaming that runs in families. And just like that movie Coco, right? If you've ever seen the movie Coco.
I love that movie, yes.
Yeah, they say it takes a living one to free the ancestors.
Oh, wow.
To free them and their issues and the issues that have been passed down from the bloodline. And it only takes, when you do it, it only takes maybe 30 seconds or a minute to do. But people have had such amazing results just from that. And then we teach a practice where, again, we are making room for what it is that we desire. And it's healing sadness and trauma, and it's healing fear and worry and shame and all of those sorts of emotions. And then we talk about how to dream plant, and then we talk about the best time to do it.
I love it, dream planting. Before we conclude this interview, I have one last question for you. What makes you happier? When are you your happiest?
I would say I am my happiest when I'm hugging my daughter.
Oh, I love that. Human touch is essential. Like just that, even that transfer of that energy, and like it sometimes means more than the words that you say.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. Like I've learned so much from you about myself from that first conversation, and now I'm like obsessed. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to look at and research, and it's helping me communicate and act so that other people can understand me and I can understand others. So thank you so much. And a lot of it has to do with success in life and in business. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I know you're super busy, so thanks again. And stay tuned, guys, for next week's DezTV.